Well, happy Monday. It's September 16th. I want to bring you the latest data here in the Austin metro area. We're going to talk about interest rates, of course. We are going to look at the latest August statistics now that that month has fully completed. And of course, we'll look at some of the up to the minute trends in the market to show you how some of these lowering interest rates could be impacting sales. So let's start with interest rates. Right now, wow, we are at 6.12% for the 30-year fixed, the 15, the FHA, the VA, everything is now coming down into the fives. What I can tell you as well is if you're a primary home buyer, you're putting down 20% or more, you have a great credit score, you also are getting interest rates in the five range, probably around 5.75 right now. So rates have really come down. Let me show you this chart. And this chart is going to impact or kind of lead our discussion today. But if we look at the 30-year fixed, I'm going to go all the way back to the left side of this chart. This is the end of April, and rates this spring had gone from about 6.75 when we started the year up to 7.5. I'll show you that in a couple charts and how it really impacted sales. But look what has happened since basically the end of April. So you got May through here. We came down into the 7 range. Once we got into early July, we dipped below 7%, and it has been on a steady climb down to 6.15%. That is a 1.4% decrease in mortgage rates since April. The reason I want to say that is during this entire time, the Federal Reserve has not moved their interest rate at all. We've been at their 5.25 the entire time. So the Federal Reserve this week is going to meet on their rate. More than likely, they're going to be lowering their rate midweek. But again, I think that may not anymore have as big an impact on mortgage rates as people think, because the market has already predetermined that the Federal Reserve needs to be lowering their rates. And a lot of that is getting baked in right now. So that's a 1.4% move with the Fed doing nothing. So it could move a little bit this week. We could see them actually go up a little bit if for some reason they think the Fed didn't do enough. And if the Fed does more than they expected, we could see rates come down a little more. But either way, great news, buyers right now. If you're out shopping, just know you may be able to get a 5 on the front of your mortgage. All right, let's look at August numbers. So this is all of August, and it's comparing 2023 in the left-hand column to 2024 in the right-hand column. Sales are down this year 10.3% in August. That's a lot, and last year was pretty anemic. So this is anemia on anemia, not a lot of sales for the market. Pendings are down in August about 2.4%. So again, fewer buyers than this time last year. We also had fewer listings. We didn't have really that many more sellers bringing properties to market. But when you don't have a lot of buyers and sales are really down, pendings are down, the listings that are on the market are stacking up. And so we've had 13% higher inventory in the market than we had in August last year. And what happens when you have more homes and fewer people buying them? You're going to have more sellers taking their properties back off the market. So that's withdrawals and expireds up about 12.5%. And again, this is August. A lot of the mortgage rate movement has been really recent, coming down through August and now through mid-September. So the buyers have not, the sales aren't yet reflective of what buyers getting these lower mortgage rates are doing in the market right now. So they're just now writing their offers. They're just now pending in September. They'll close in October or November. And so it's going to take a couple months before we start to see that impact. But I have a few charts that might show you just a little bit of what's changing in the market. Also, the median sold price is down around 3.4%. Austin had the biggest pull back down in the second half of 2022, the second biggest pull down in the second half of 2023, and really the softest pull down right now. So it's starting to stabilize now that prices have come down pretty noticeably since the beginning of the pandemic. So this is the Metro. This is just a visual of the average and sold price. And again, if you just want to see, this is the end of last year coming down on the left. You got January right here in the middle. The spring, we had the prices go back up, but not as aggressive as they did last spring. And we're sitting right now about 573, average price 435 on the median in the metro area. This is pending. So this is last year and this year. Last year was the darker line. This year is the lighter line. When those rates, you can see it right here, when those rates shot up in April up to 7.5, nobody was buying. It just dropped the buyers out of the market. But rates have slowly been coming down. And instead of having this bell curve look to pendings, it started to flatten out. So we're getting some more buyers to kind of come in. Again, we're still way below last year. But my prediction is this pending line is going to be higher than last year, maybe for the final months of this year, because rates are much, much better. I mean, last year at this time in October, we got to 8% interest rates, and now we're going to be below 6% interest rates. So a massive difference to buyers and what they can afford with their mortgage payment. And then finally, new listings by month, almost no change. You can see we're pretty neck and neck. We had more sellers come out in the spring. And when nobody buys, that's why we have more inventory in the market right now. So I expect we'll see more withdrawn and expired listings through the rest of this year. Not because it's the right or wrong decision for that seller. It's just there's simply not enough buyers at this time to buy up the inventory that is in the market. All right, so let's look at real-time data. So this is as of right now, September 16th. This is active versus sold listings. You can see that the green is listings and the blue is sales or closed sales. This is single family homes. And so you can see we peaked out in June. That was where we had the most inventory in the market. Since then, we're starting to see some things selling, not as many people listing. And of course, you have those withdrawn and expireds pulling listings off the market as well. So we've peaked and we're probably going to trend. We're going to continue to trend down through probably January, when we'll see it turn and have the beginning of next spring with new listings, just like that. So if we look at sales, we peaked out again in May. We sold about 3,200 single family homes in August, sitting around 26, just under 2,700. So, not great, but at least there are sales happening. We are seeing that. And more importantly, we're seeing rates coming down, which I think is going to be the tailwind for future sales. So let's look at original price versus sold price. So again, listings price wise peaked out in April. Typically people see closed sales. They want to try to sell a little higher. The buyers also may be more eager in the spring to pay a little more to get that house for the year. So you see the prices kind of go up. But since then, we've seen list prices come back down because there's been less buyer activity. But the sold price was $455 in April. We're about $438 in August. Not so bad. It really hasn't moved that much. And we're seeing that tighten up a little bit. More importantly, we're seeing it kind of level off a little bit. Instead of bell curving down sharper when rates went up, we're seeing it start to level off. Why? Because rates are coming down. So if you're a buyer right now, you have a lot of great tailwinds for you. You got a lot to look at. You've got rates getting much, much cheaper. And I don't expect we're going to have a big wave of buyers hit the market like in October. That would be very unusual. Typically, we're just going to see a decent amount of buyers in the fall, and then they'll taper off as we get to Thanksgiving and the December holidays. So right now is a great time to look, I think. And maybe get ahead of next year because rates are lower. If you're a seller right now, it's really about inventory. And so we want to be watching who are you competing against, how much is out there in your category, whether it's your neighborhood or your type of property, your zip code, because that dictates, is this a buyer's market, a neutral market, or a seller's market? For most of our clients, it's clearly a buyer's market. And so we have to be patient and we have to be pretty aggressive on price, whether it's for sale or for rent. We're seeing the rental market be slow as well. We're typically kind of past rental season, which is the spring and summer months. So anyways, I hope this was helpful. If you want to follow our videos, check out our YouTube channel at Ryan Kelly Group. You can click that subscribe button and keep up with these videos each and every week. And of course, if you know somebody looking to buy, sell, or invest in Austin, we'd love the opportunity to talk with them. Well, I'm a proud Longhorn today. We are now #1 in the nation, thanks to beating UTSA over the weekend. Hopefully we can keep that up for this year. Hook 'em. Hope you guys have a great week and talk to you then. Thanks.